airfield. A very short takeoff run for a big aircraft. That sound, and of course the wonderful Vulcan hull coming from the 4 Rolls-Royce Bristol Olympus 202 two-shaft turbojets, 16,500 pounds of static thrust roughly, each of them 65,000 pounds in total. Of course, these days she doesn't carry a lot of the equipment that she used to carry when she was an operational aircraft, including not carrying 2 navigators. That must have considerably reduced the weight, I guess. Speaking as one myself, I'm allowed to say that. But here she is coming back in front of us, and Bill Ramsey will be accelerating her down the line of the runway. Right at the end of her operational career in 1982, supported by no less than 11 Victors tankers, Vulcan 607 hit the centre line of the runway at Port Stanley and Falkland Islands with 1 bomb and the edge of the runway with another, making that runway unusable for Argentine fast jets. Until the Gulf War, it was the longest bombing range in history, 7,760 miles round trip. Roughly the same distances from here to Bali in 1 hop. It took no less than 18 air-to-air refuelings to achieve that. That aircraft, 607, was snapping at RAF Wellington. What of course that attack really did was to tell the Argentines that that's what it probably would be a good idea to base their fast jets on the island. But mainly that if things got really nasty, the Royal Air Force could actually reach their mainland. So here she is coming back in towards us on the B axis, coming back straight across the airfield, and she'll go up into a spiral climb. When Vulcan left the service of the Royal Air Force in 1993, nobody believed there would ever be a flying Vulcan. But in the 90s, a little later, 2 people, David Walton, bought this aeroplane and all the available spares, and Dr. Robert Fleming, who felt that the RAF should preserve this iconic aircraft rather than toss it onto the scrap heap. The RAF didn't have the money to do that, and the end result was the Vulcan to the Sky Trust. And the biggest problem has always been money. It may seem obvious, but 658 is not funded by the government. She doesn't belong to the Royal Air Force. To get this far has cost more than £22 million, including, I should say, 2.7 million in a grant from the Heritage Lottery Fund. I didn't mention them yesterday. I always mention them, and yesterday I didn't, and I got into awful trouble from Sir Peter Love, so sorry, Sir Peter. That was very valuable at the time. So here she is, coming back in with her wheels down. rest of that 22 million pounds has just come from you wonderful people. You've given your money in single pounds, in tens of thousands, and everything in between. So Jack Hayward has been wonderful. Eddie Forrester, been big support from the CAA, as well as the three technical authority companies, BAE Systems, Marshall Aerospace Defence Group, and Rolls-Royce. Many other companies have given fantastic help. Airbus, AD Holdings, Beagle Technology, Cranfield Aerospace. There are the bomb doors opening as she goes by. You get a glimpse of the size of that bomb bay there, and you'll be able to see the bomb doors closing as she comes back round in front of us again. That enormous bomb bay, of course, the heart of the bomber, that was what carried the 21 1,000-pound bombs all the way to the Falkland Islands. So 10 tons or so. Staggering amount. These were, let's not forget, dumb bombs, wartime type bombs that were guided in many ways. So if you needed to hit a pinpoint target like a bit of a runway, you had to really do overkill. So on the 21 1,000-pound bombs, they hit the runway with two of them. We just finished those companies to whom we owe so much. Beagle Technology, Cranfield Aerospace, Goodrich, Kearsley Airways, Meggitt, Messier Doughty, and Serco. Now as she comes round this time, you will see the bomb bay doors closing. At the moment, the bomb bay just holds the names of lots of people who some of that 22 million pounds. And as we know, this is her last season, and it is the three technical authority companies that will finally bring Vulcan's illustrious flying life to a close. They have together decided to cease their support at the end of the 2015 season. Under Civil Aviation Authority regulations, Vulcan will be prohibited from flying. She'll lose her permit. So it isn't about funding, although of course funding remains difficult, it's still costing £2 million a year to run her. And it's not about the supply of spare parts, it is about the mandatory third-party support. Now she is still as safe as any aircraft flying today, but she's done 10% more hours than any other Vulcan before. So she's into an area unknown. Safety record requires the expertise that is basically to find. She's still being enjoyed by around 3 times. It seems a shame to break up such a perfect formation. But there it is. Vulcan turning away now to fly downwind and complete her landing checks. See the wheels come down so that she will fly all the way down to the right-hand end of the runway and then start her final turn. She'll do a fighter-style final turn, continual turn onto the runway heading and land for what will probably be the very last time ever at a Royal International Air Tattoo. We may see the braking parachute we did yesterday. I'm not sure if we're going to see it today. I hope so. Always adds a little spice to the landing. There are her wheels coming down, all 18 of them down. And as she comes down on final approach, you will probably be able to see the air brakes, top and bottom, young from the wings. I sometimes get into a discussion with people as to whether Vulcan ought to be a she or an it. Some people think very firmly it, but I'm sure she's a she. She's She's like a ship. She's immensely graceful and very beautiful. But the man who has the deciding word on that is Taff Stone, the man who I told you was the crew chief and the chief engineer. He says 558 is my baby. He says she's high maintenance, she's temperamental, but despite all that, he loves her. And I think we all owe a huge vote of thanks to Taff and the 7 engineers that I mentioned earlier for keeping this magnificent 55-year-old aeroplane still flying for all of us. But perhaps I should just say that as she comes in for her final landing, I'd quote the great Dr. Seuss, you know, the man who wrote The Cat in the Hat and How the Grinch Stole Christmas. He wrote, "Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened." Or if you can't manage that, at least a little smile through the tears. Vulcan XH558 lands.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Sean, for taking us through that absolutely marvellous description and commemoration. Can't believe it's the last time we'll see this success. It's marvellous.